A while back, I got my hands on a job lot of original PlayStations. While most of the repairs are pretty boring, these two caught my eye since they didn't have any technician notes and happened to be the first and last model released of the original PlayStation before they moved on to the PS1.
Alright, we'll start with this older one. It's in a condition. They didn't bother putting them back together when I got these, so all the screws should be... Normally the screws are right here. The screws are inserted. Then why is this not sitting? What have they done to you? Oh no. I don't think we're going to get a chance to test this one. I think we have to go straight to disassembly so that I can actually get them sat properly to then test. This is all kinds of bad already. So I think the major faults on these was... I think they fixed the color banding, because this one is an October 96 model. At this point, they'd removed a couple features and upgraded the board. So I think at this point, the color banding problem on the launch models had been resolved. And what we were left with was a really violent problem with the disk drives burning out, I'm pretty sure. Or at least on the American launch models. There is an earlier model of the PlayStation than the 1001 series. It's just the flat 1000 series, which was only available in Japan. That came out in 94, I think. Okay. And they didn't bother getting you into position for some reason? Why? What is wrong here? Okay. So this lines up like that. This one like that. I don't think this is supposed to wobble. What is our issue? I'm super confused here. Should this not all be even? Why is this so long? Okay, so this is not OEM. Just for starters. This is a Chinese replacement drive, which is fine. But the tail is really long. Let me grab another drive, right? These are the same. Yeah, these are the same height. This is all the same as well. Something here I'm not seeing. Are these legs broken? No. I mean, I can show you guys what's going on, I guess. But we just do not sit flush. This is super elevated. So the PS1 drive, for comparison, doesn't have this tail at all. I mean, that does make me wonder, does this work? Do I want to try this with a PS1 drive? I mean, I can. I think what I'm supposed to do is just cut this tail down a bit. So it looks like, I don't know, maybe a centimeter? I am so sorry. Yeah, it's like still just barely too tall. Okay. Well, now it sits correct, I think. So now what I don't understand is, are we supposed to touch here to here? Is this rubber supposed to reach the base of this metal? I think this will reassemble. Let's find out. Let me make sure there's nothing else in our way. Yeah, I don't see anything. So I think we'll reassemble now. No, we still have issues. What is going on back here? We're lined up on the front. Oh, are we good? Almost. Okay, so the disk drive appears to possibly be the problem. It's like this disk drive is just fundamentally wrong. Okay. And now we're sat fairly okay. This doesn't seem right to me, guys. I don't understand. Let me see what happens as I put these screws in, because that's the context I need. Okay, so this will not thread back here, no matter what I do. And this doesn't thread no matter what I do. We got some weird stuff going on. That much I can say for certain. I mean, it's level-ish. The left is still a little bit too high. I have no idea what I'm looking at. Let's grab a game. Let's test this. Let's use our favorite game for testing. We'll use Tony Hawk. When I press this, you guys should start to get signal. Okay, our disk drive doesn't try to do anything, and I don't see anything on the screen for you guys. Why has it got to be this way? Okay, so I hold the reset button, and then I'll hold the lid switch, and we get nothing.
At this point, I spent a few minutes trying to figure out why I wasn't getting any signal out of the system, and it just has something to do with my capture card, and I wasn't able to get it to work for either of the PlayStations, so we won't have any video capture today. If anybody has a recommendation for a TV that has, or a monitor, that has S-Video, RGB, HDMI, so on and so forth, with an HDMI out, I'm here for it, especially if it has a VESA mount, man. Ooh. Anyways, I can't figure out how to get it so that you guys are going to get video on the screen with these specific consoles. They just don't want to vibe with it.
Power. We boot. We get audio. So our issue is our disk drive. The thing is, this is not OEM. It is definitely a replacement drive. Now these had a habit of burning out the disk drive. Not just the laser going bad. Okay, now the disk drive is stuck to this. Oof. All right. Why are we having so many issues? I don't think I even need to go deeper. Like, I'm pretty sure right here is what I'm dealing with. 4-pin cable is connected. It's connected here. That is soldered. That is soldered. Am I missing an ESD solder joint? It doesn't look like it. Does this move, or is this stuck in position? This moves. It's adequately greased. The grease visibly looks okay. Let's not rip that off the board. Not that I've done that before. I have 3 pots right here for some reason. What do those control? Then I also have a pot on the disk drive itself. I have a thing that just came free. I need to go pee. Okay, so I've confirmed without a doubt that the problem here is that this is the wrong optical drive. So whoever tried to change out the drive to save the system, they didn't look up which drive you need to get for this particular model first. So they got a KSM 44080M, which is not correct.
At this point, I decided to be very confidently incorrect about which drive you needed, because I found a Reddit post that was wrong, and so I decided I'd be wrong with that person. When that didn't work out, I went ahead and grabbed another drive that I had laying around that I thought was for a PS1 Slim. It's actually the KSM 440 ACM, which is meant for the original PlayStation series. So it's the right drive for this. I will not realize that at any point during filming. I will think this is a PS1 Slim drive. This is what was meant to be used in this exact model. So I just happen to have it lying around, and that worked out.
I have a KSM 440 ACM here. And we can see if it'll fit. First, are the pins the same? Yeah, it looks like they are. That might be fine, actually. I'm never gonna get over watching other people work on these and somehow they were able to get both of their fingers on these cables every time. What's wrong with me that I can't have that life? Let's try the shell again, carefully. Okay, so this didn't get all weird going down this time. Oh yeah. Okay, we're playing a totally different game now. TV's on, I'm gonna hold this, push this, it spins right up. Okay, it is going into the game. Got the PlayStation screen. Okay, it reads the game. So I think what's happened is the holes are just stripped. I think that's why we're not getting any action there. So a simple solution to deal with that would be to put something in the hole to act as a spacer. The screws themselves are perfectly fine. It's not like I'd be that consistent in putting them in the same spot anyways. I've met me. I wouldn't even try. Yeah, this has been cleaned. I mean, not fantastically, there's still gunk. But somebody has opened this, at least as far as I have so far. I don't see anything I want to do on this board aside from just maybe brush it off. I don't even think it needs like an alcohol bath. It is clean. I see nothing that makes me think I need to work on this thing. So I won't. Especially since I just delivered power to it. Yeah, I mean, let's see if I can just brush this off and then maybe clean it with some wipes and maybe get away from actually having to do a full bath here. It's not greasy. There's not... Somebody's semi-cleaned it, maybe not to my standard, but honestly, I'm over here talking about not cleaning it to my standard as well. So just to explain, when I work on older systems that have plastics like this, so the NES, this PlayStation, so on and so forth, these plastics in particular like to crack as they age. So I don't like to wash them like a full bath like I normally do, because sometimes like my rag will get caught right here on this, and that'll be all it takes to just rip that off. Or my sponge, or whatever it is I'm using. I have wipes that are safe for plastics like this, and I use those instead.
While he wipes this down, I figured I'd explain why the optical drive is such a notorious failure in the early model. When they designed this, they put the power supply and the actual components of the optical drive right next to each other. So on later revisions, you'll notice that the laser is in the bottom right rather than the top left. That's to get it away from the power supply. There's not enough ventilation in the system, so when the power supply gets hot, it actually just cooks the entire optical drive. So the grease will dry up, and it'll kill any motors associated with it. And then in addition to that, they used plastic for the sled, so that'll warp because of the heat and just destroy everything. So you'll want to go with one of the optical drives that has the metal sled. There's a few of them out there. The ACM that I'm using here has it. It was actually, I believe, made specifically for this reason. But I also want to say the BAM, the 440 BAM for the PS1 Slim also has a metal sled.
Shout out to whoever told me about using a wipe on a spudger to get in crevices. That has been such incredible technology the past few weeks. Now we'll just go ahead and like brush the debris off of this. If I see a reason to do a deeper clean as I do this, then I will, but... Do y'all see what I see? How about now? Where are these capacitors? What? Why are these gone?
I looked at a whole bunch of other boards, and this is just a thing. I assume those caps used to control the S-video output. I can't think of any other reason. I just thought it was weird because there is solder and flux, but no caps. Everything's dry, so we're going to go ahead and fix up these two posts. The problem is that the hole is now too large for the screw. It has a screw go in and out too many times. It gets cross-threaded. Now, how do we fix it? Well, all you need to do is make the hole smaller again, while still ensuring that the screw can go in. So we can fill the hole in a number of different ways. Some people like to use super glues or hot glue or epoxies or whatever. Just make sure that whatever you're using isn't something that will eat or discolor or anything like that, the plastic. If you use normal like CA super glue, if you see that, cyanacrylate, cyanoacrylate. Anyways, that stuff will turn the plastic white over time. We don't want to do that. So whatever you use needs to be made specifically for plastic. Alternatively, you could just jam something in there and make sure that the screw can grab on. Really important note though, if you make it too tight, you can actually crack the post when trying to screw in there. So whatever you put in there should be a little malleable and the screw should be able to get through. If you're gonna fill it with like JB weld, but JB plastic weld, then you need to go ahead and drill this out before putting the screw in there.
I'm lazy. I'm not trying to be fancy. I'm not going to do the JB Weld route. What I like to do normally is just a toothpick, but since we're dealing with smaller holes here, gonna blow your mind. We're just gonna use like a little twist tie. Real small, nothing crazy. You just insert it as far as the screw goes. In this case, I'm gonna go all the way in. I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap this around the post if I can, to try to hold it in place a little bit so it's not as annoying when I turn the shell over. It's liable to be annoying. I mean, if you want to glue this in place or something, that's fine. I'm not going to. As long as you make sure that this bit is nice and tight, it will still fall out. If you just have like copper wire, you can use that. If for some reason this doesn't work, if it's too big or something, I just have normal wire that we'll put in there that's really thin. Okay. There we go. And it'll be really obvious if this worked or not. So let's go straight here where our problem child was. Yep, and it threads. There we go. And it doesn't feel real tight. It doesn't feel like I'm gonna break anything. If it feels like you're cross-threading almost, then go ahead and stop and don't do that. That one went fine. And this one goes fine too. Just like that. Yeah, no more massive gap like we had in the beginning. Also, I mean, this is just so much cleaner now. It didn't take much to clean this up. I'm just gonna test this one more time just to be sure that we don't have any issues. And I guess I haven't tested a controller, so maybe I'll do that. Okay, and we still boot right into the game. Fantastic. I'll use this controller for a bit just to fully test this one before we move on, but I think we're good. All right, so that's one repaired. All right, so now we have our second one. The optical drive is in a completely different location. Gosh, these things are weird. All right, so optical drive is obviously in a completely different location. It's probably our fault. I'd be shocked if I actually got anything that had a different problem. So this one has a sticky open button. That's not what you want. Yeah, see, that's not supposed to stay down. All right, so that'll need to be cleaned. That's really common on these. This one is a 9001. This is a very late model. This is from August 1999 is when this one was made. And again, we're looking at a North American model. The feet are different. There's a 6th screw now. The optical drive is in a completely different location. Out the back, we only have serial I/O as well as AV multi-out. So we got rid of the parallel I/O and then the composite cables. So very different. Let's go ahead, plug him up. Okay, so I get a green light and I do hear the disk drive making noise. We get sound out. Okay. It might just be this. That would be a miracle, but it could be the case. It's spinning the disk, making a ton of noise. Oh, that does not sound good. Oh, is that being picked up? No way, it boots? Dude, what? Are we gonna get past the actual PlayStation screen though? If you don't know, when you load into a PlayStation 1 game, the first thing you're greeted with is a PlayStation screen. Yeah, it looks like that. Anyways, if you can't make it past that, it's because your laser isn't strong enough. And in this case, that is exactly what's happening. So the laser is either going bad here, or we have a replacement optical drive and the potentiometer was never adjusted, or the ESD solder joint is still on that optical drive. First, let's take a look at this mechanism. Yeah, so we can see right there it got stuck. That's normally just because that is dirty. That's easy enough to fix, it just requires a little bit of cleaning. There may not be a need to actually go replacing anything. We could just have a dirty laser. Like I said, it could be the pot needs to be adjusted because this could be an aftermarket system. It's a little dusty, and the grease looks a little sus. It'll need to be cleaned. Oh yeah, that is dusty. Check that out. Let's wipe him down.
So while watching this back, I realized that there's actually a lot of stuff still floating around in the IPA on the lens, and I didn't clean this well enough. So anyways, do better than me.
I'm gonna hold this down with a spudger. Try not to touch anything else while I do this. And then power him up. Disc spins pretty slow. Now it's not spinning at all. Okay, it's not even trying to read it, so that means that the laser can't. Again, spins pretty dang slow. And it does nothing. Okay, there is a very faint laser, but man, is it faint. He did give us a couple pumps. So now let's see if he is able to move. Oh wow, that is so stiff. We'll hold this down. We should see him move just like that. Okay. All right, so for some reason the optical drive is just not wanting to work with us. It could be that the laser is dead or dying. So what we need to do next is go ahead and just check what the potentiometer is at. Sometimes the potentiometer is just way off. These have a general range that you'll find them at. So somebody might have replaced this. Oftentimes when you first get these, if you have an aftermarket one, the pot is set like really, really high and you have to lower it when you get it. So it could be something like that, or it could just be this laser's dead. I do wonder if there's any capacitors on the board that it could be on this particular model. I'm so against replacing the drives. 967 kiloohms. Yeah, so right about 1,000 kiloohms. To me, that does seem high, and this might just need to be adjusted. Just to be sure, let's go ahead and tear this down some. Make sure that I don't see any board faults. Man, I just realized I didn't have my mic on that whole time. That audio is gonna suck butt. I don't know what I was saying. It probably wasn't important. It's only, half an hour of footage. Don't worry about that. Oh gosh. Oh golly. Whatever. This is so dusty. Let's see if I can. Yeah, baby. This board is so much smaller than the previous board. Holy cow. Holy surface mounted capacitors, Batman. Why are they so small? Should I be sniffing it? I don't smell fish, but it's not like I'm really getting in there, getting after it, So the back of the board, man, this is actually, looking at this is starting to look a whole lot like the PS1. So yeah, this thing is pretty dirty. Try to give you guys a good perspective on that. So maybe some of the dust is causing shorts. We've had that on consoles here on the channel before. It is so dusty. Oh, you guys aren't going to see the video where I changed to orange gloves for quite a while, because it's going to be a few weeks until I finish getting the rest of the parts, the second, third round of parts. Well, yeah, we're doing orange gloves, at least for a couple videos. Some things, man, you go to Harbor Freight and it's incredible. Like the solder. If I go to Home Depot or Lowe's or Ace, I cannot get leaded solder. But you know what I can get at Harbor Freight? Not just leaded solder, massive. Look at this spool, dude. Like, massive spool of leaded solder. But yeah, not gloves. Don't do that. That's all bad. That's on me. That's my bad. I should have known better. Okay, so this one, I'm gonna need to disassemble this guy. Okay, and the button is clean. That's unfortunate. Now what I'm gonna do, I wanna make sure that I really get in there. So I'm gonna take this and just kind of push around, do the same there, Sick. Now we'll wipe down the edge of the button. All right, some gunk came up, so maybe it's just dirty and it's not just doing that to do that. The reason that it might just happen over time with age, the plastic can warp on any of these bits with age. If that plastic warps, which is a reasonable thing to occur, then there's just going to be some new friction that wasn't there before. Now we'll just wipe this down. Let's see if that did it. Push the button. Perfect. It was just dirty. All right, cool. Now, let's get in here. I mean, typically you find these things and they're in like that 700 to 900 ohm range. So the fact that this is sitting at like whatever it was, you know what? Let's not trust my memory. Yeah, 971. There we go. 880. I'm good with that. Let's try it there. And then I can lower it more if needed. And then I'll just check if this grease is still wet. And if it is dry. Oh, that is bone dry. Hello. Yeah, that's not lubricating anything. Okay.
Watching this back, I should have started by cleaning out the old lube, putting in new lube, testing that, and then maybe considering the potentiometer. I don't think I was actually supposed to touch the potentiometer here, and I also don't like how much I lowered it. I don't think I was supposed to lower it nearly as much as I did for the initial test. Probably like a millimeter turn, try to get like 10 to 20 ohms difference. I don't know. I'm still learning, and I don't think I did my best work right here.
There we go. That is much better. Okay, we still power on. The laser, the drive sounds so much better. It's not making the terrible noises it was making earlier right now. Oh, we're still not gonna get in. Interesting. Okay, so I still need to lower the resistance a bit. Okay, we're at 810. If need be, I'm okay with going down to 7, and then if I have to go down to 7, this is like dead. No. It's not gonna do it. Not at this setting. All right, there we go. 715 is good with me. I feel like we're spinning the best this time. But we're also still stuck at the PlayStation screen. No? Something different is happening. I'm at a black screen. Oh, this thing sounds so bad. I thought we were there. Run it back. No. I can keep lowering the resistance on this, but honestly, that tells me all I need to know. So this is a Chinese one, I know that. These things seriously suck. If like, I cannot emphasize this enough to you guys. These things are not good. Maybe I'm the problem. These things are so bad, like when you order them, you don't even know that they're gonna work. Like half of them that you get will not work. Well, let's slap the disc on there. Let's see if it'll read as it is or if I need to adjust the pot before we continue. Same PlayStation screen we've been making it to. That is wrong. Also wrong. What is going on here? Yeah, this is very wrong. That's not at all what the reading is. There we go. I'm definitely on the pins now. That's not it. Okay, I want it known that the solder job on this thing is like really bad. So it's not entirely my fault that it's so difficult to get a good reading on this thing. Yeah, that solder job is terrible. So it's really difficult to get a good reading. Yeah, 300 ohms, I doubt it. I don't know how to measure this thing. I am not able to get a reading. We seriously just have to guesstimate. This is so annoying. I'm just gonna bring you guys back whenever I get it working. This is gonna take quite a while. Okay, so I actually had to change the disk drive again. This plate gets too low and it catches. So that'll actually scratch up your games and it'll prevent everything from working. These things don't like friction. So I put a new one in and that one had the same issue where the spindle height was too low. So what I did to fix that is I just took the scrapey end of a spudger, put it underneath this, and then just rotated this, slowly lifting it up just a little bit. I did that until it didn't catch anymore. Once I knew it wasn't catching anymore, I went ahead and tested it with a different game. Unfortunately, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 has met the same fate as Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1. and neither of them work. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 is gonna live to tell the tale and show everybody why perseverance is all it takes to ruin all of your favorite games. All right, let's see if it still works. No. Perseverance is all it takes to ruin all of your favorite games. No! Perseverance might be my enemy. Why's it gotta be this way, guys? I actually don't have any more PlayStation games. Please stop this. Why? Look, if you have a lead on a good replacement optical drive, other than buying PS1 Slims and yoinking them out of there, I'm all ears. Oh, and this got stuck again? No, I didn't do anything right. Oh, what a sad attempt at a repair. I think it's failing to boot. Okay. I was about to get violent. It works. I'm done with this. Well, I'm gonna call it there. So, in one video we managed to repair both the first and second to last, I don't know. Future Matt will know. But these both got fixed, and that's cool. Also just confirming I cannot get this to stick anymore. So I don't know what I did, but it's fixed. I don't know how I managed to break it again even. But these are both fixed. These are both going in the fixed pile. And I'm never touching them again because this dude infuriated me. And there's just better options than this one. So that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like. And if you'd like to see more just like it, consider subscribing. And I will see you guys in the next video.